often of guys, getting to return to the house that they essentially helped build. Walk me through just this off season and that decision for you.
It was nuts, I loved Colleyville, and it was really hard to leave. Specifically, Luke Ulrich, he's going to be the quarterback there, and he had really, I'd groomed him, to be the guy, and he had, kind of waited his turn and that kind of stuff. And so I flip-flopped on it a couple times before I finally decided, what am I doing? I got to go home, And so, it was neat. I just told about it for about 2 weeks, and finally I just walked in the living room. I said, Karen, what are we doing? I said, let's go home. Let's go. She says, thank God. I was wondering where you were going to come to that decision. She's a great coach's wife, and so
happy wife, happy life.
That's
so
right.
Great move.
Yeah. And so just, it's been everything I thought it was, and just to get to really try to crank up the Hoka spirit again and that kind of stuff, it's been special,
What? Explain for those that aren't familiar.
Okay.
The story behind Hoka, how important that was in building Manvel into what it was.
So I coached at Permian and the whole mojo thing, and I wanted something catchy like that whenever I opened up Manvel. And so my brother-in-law had a theme, every year, and Hoka was theirs one year, and he's a coach in Apopka High School in Florida.
Okay.
And so I dug into that, and I figured out what all it was, and it's Crazy Horse defeated Custer at Custer's Last Stand, the Sioux Lakota Indians. Mm-hmm. And so that was their battle cry. And if you look in the Sioux Lakota language, it means this is a great day to die. They were ready to die to keep them getting driven off their land. They were ready to die to preserve their way of life. And so obviously I'm not advocating that kids die, but I want them to die to their selfish desires, and I want them to play for their teammates, play for their coaches, play for their school, play for their family, play for this community. I want them to play unselfish. And so if you ask our kids what it means, they'll tell you it means play unselfish. And so we've got talent, so if we can get 22 guys playing unselfishly, we can have something special. So to me, that's what Hoka is. And so that comes with community service, projects, and that comes with really pouring into your fellow man and putting others in front of yourself and that kind of stuff. And so to me, that's a life lesson too. We should live unselfishly.
There's something to be said about releasing self-will, ego, control, and trusting. Leaning on the people around you, because ultimately it's the people around you that help create that success, right?
Yeah.
And that's why the way you organize your staffs, the way you coach these young men. It's you are very much about the human element, and I love that.
So that's really what really wins, in my opinion, is culture. And so, I tell every coach that I hire, hey, look, I'm going to do my best to coach you up on what we need. But I can't coach you up on how to love kids. You either love kids or you don't. And so we have to be in that business. We have to be in the business of loving them, building them up. You got to coach them. You got to critique them. But it's not tearing them down. It's not belittling them and
coming
that,
from a place of love from
that's
you, right?
That's right. And so, heck, discipline's the greatest form of love. So that's what I'm trying to grow is just that love for kids. Love for our program. I want all our coaches to love it like I love it. It's my baby.
Do you want to reignite that? I get a sense that you want to honestly go in there and kind of symbolically reignite the fire, right?
Yep, absolutely.
How do you do? Because it's how has it changed since you were last there?
We've Shadow Creek had opened up, when I was there, and that pulled from us a little bit. And
2 new schools have opened in the ISD since you left.
Yeah, and so now there's Iowa Colony and that kind of stuff. So that's the new shiny thing in our district and our area and that kind of stuff. And I told our coach, I want to be that new shiny thing. I'm new. It's been 5 years. I didn't coach any of these kids. None of them know me or who I am or anything.
That's
a lot of their brothers, a lot of their uncles and different folks like that. Over 12 years that I was there, I got to coach a lot of them, and so it is. I am trying to reignite this thing and really pull us all together and start, really being that Hoka family that I left, and I think we're getting there. I really do. I think there's a lot of ways you do that. You celebrate every single success that you have, and you show them. Like every kid that posts something. I mean, I'm a Twitter fiend,
You are. I'm
old.
trying to keep up with you anymore.
I'm old, but I like to celebrate them. And if they're proud of something, I want to be proud of it too. And so the offers and that kind of stuff. You don't want to get it backwards. It can't be all about that. But my greatest joy is helping a kid get their school paid for. Because if you do that, you've changed their lives forever. Not only their lives, but their kids' lives. I mean, if they weren't going to go to school any other way, to me,
helps their families in the moment.
For years and years. So to me, that is huge. That's big. But I don't want to make it about chasing offers at the same time, because you know what? The guy that's playing in front of you kept those guys off of you so you can make all those tackles. The guys that are blocking in front of you helps you be able to throw that touchdown pass and all that kind of stuff. So it really is, whenever one gets an offer, we all did, because we all had a part in that. You're the one that was pushing them in the weight room. You were the one that was pushing them out there when running those sprints. So I want it to be a celebration, and I want to really guard against it being all about that, and I'm more special than you because I have offers and you don't. So that can turn the team around, can really disrupt the team more than anything else in high school, in my opinion. So we want to be proud of it. We brag on them.
It's almost like encouraging them to celebrate other success in a way, right?
Amen.
That's what you're trying to do. I
started a new thing this year. We have the number 0, and I've never had the number 0 before, but we have the number 0 when I got back. That's part of the deal now. And so I took that number, and everybody wants, that's the coveted one, right? And you usually give that to a pretty darn good player, and that's okay. But what I did was I had the whole team vote and told them, I want you guys, and they know what they're voting on, tell me who the greatest leader in our program is. And it was overwhelming. One kid got like 58 votes, and the closest next one was 8. And then the day that we're picking numbers, I pulled that number out, and I said, okay, this one, y'all voted. This one belongs to Fred Kalu. He's the greatest leader on our team. He leads our FCA. He has 0 offers. He deserves offers. He's a heck of a player. He'll play linebacker and also play some H-back for me, but he didn't have quite the measurables that others have. But he pours into his teammates. He leads our FCA. He's a leader. He's awesome human, and that is one of the new things that we've done. I also have hired a gal that was with me before, Diana Jones. In the college world, you'd call it a DFO. So she's doing all those things behind the scenes that really nobody knows about. She's pushing out those kids. She videos us every day, and she's throwing stuff out there on Twitter, and she's in charge of my contact sheet of all the players, and she's got embedded links of their highlight videos and their transcripts, and we're blasting the universe with that. And so I've hired a strength coach that coached with me at Syracuse. He was our strength coach at Syracuse. He's got 24 years of college strength coach experience, and he's going to coach all of our sports. And so he's the greatest strength coach in high school right now. It ain't even close, because he was the head strength coach at Indiana. This guy is legit.
And you know what's cool to think about is the fact that had you not made that jump to the college ranks, to Syracuse,
you would
know him, and you wouldn't be able to bring him aboard.
And I wouldn't know how valuable a DFO is, and director of football operations, and the stuff that Dinah Jones does for us. So yeah, that
everything
helped me.
Everything has a purpose,
Amen.
right?
Everything happens for a reason. There's no doubt.
And so I love and appreciate that when I reached out to you and was like, you just have a fascinating story, and I love when others get to kind of share their testimony, their journey. And you were so quick to divert program, community, and I love that. You were all about Manvel and the program and the Hoka, but you were different this second time around. you're a new improved version of who you are because of the experience you went on to get. I mean, it's true, because every stop you make serves some sort of purpose. Have you found that, like making that college leap? What did you take from that?
Well, certainly the the strength coach piece is huge. I've always prided myself in knowing about strength training, and most football coaches do, but it's a whole nother level. I mean, they're the expert in that field, and so man, I'm excited about that. I think my eyes were open there, and then just having somebody else behind the scenes to do a lot of the things that would typically pull me away from football. I'm excited about Dinah Jones and the role that she plays. She was a state champion basketball coach at Manvel before, and she also took us to state in track. Was head track coach. So she's a coach at heart, and so she gets it, and she's pouring into these kids every day too. And I lost a coach to get to do that. I mean, I pitched that in my interview. This is what I want to do, and I said it's going to cost me a coach and a coaching stipend, but I'll go with one less because I think this is so valuable.
Absolutely,
so,
great. What an opportunity for her. I'm so excited for her.
Yeah.
You had a great line when we were. I was interviewing you prior to the Texas Football Days game. What was that? 20? Was that 21? I think it was 21. We asked you about returning to Texas high school football from Syracuse, and you had this great line about like you didn't realize you can take the coach out of Texas high school football, but the coach doesn't realize what he misses until it's gone, or something along those lines. Like, what was it about? What drew you back? Ultimately?
Honestly, this is where I belong. I mean, I'm a high school guy, and it really is about the relationship piece with me, and so that's missing a little bit in the college ranks, and it's tough to build any kind of relationship with kids because it is such a business, and you are trying to recruit guys to replace the ones that you have in your room, right now, and there's the portal out there, so you don't know how long you're going to have these, and there's so many, behind the scenes work at that. I just want to love the guys I got. Can we just pour into them and see how this thing turns out, and then when these graduate, another one's going to, group's going to come, and so I belong in high school. I mean, I wasn't, I missed it, and to get to build that relationship back, that piece back that I was missing in my life, I poured in my guys, and I mean, heck, two of my different quarterbacks just in the past 2 weeks have reached out to me, and Tommy DeVito and Clayton Welch, both of those guys, have hit me up. Hey, coach, how's it going? Missing you, man, and that kind of stuff. So I know I poured into my guys too. You know what I mean?
That's meaningful.
But as a head coach, you get so many more, and you get to also coach your coaches up to do that as well. And so I had my room and loved on those guys and loved them big and set a lot of records at Syracuse too. I mean, heck, we won 10 games and did a lot of great things there. And
they saw your value. That was for certain.
That was fun. But high school's where I belong. Yeah. There's no doubt. I mean, it's special. And Texas, in general. I mean, there's no other place like it. And I recruit all over the country. I had Texas. I had Orlando area, and I had quarterbacks nationally. So I traveled all over the country. Heck, I've been to Plymouth Rock. I mean, how about that?
So there you go. There's, you went away, you saw the world.
There were some cool things that I did, but I went all over the world and saw, all these different programs and everything, and I'm trying to, see how they do things in other places, and nobody does it like Texas. I mean, the athletic period, the resources we pour into it, the amount of coaches you have, and your coaches are also teachers that are in the building with the kids, and they're teaching them, and they're in the lunchroom with them, and they're, handling discipline and counseling and all the other stuff that go with, Texas high school is that's why it's different, so it's the best, no doubt.
And I'm sure, Kaysen is kind of realizing that as well as he kind of ventures outside of the Lone Star State. We were talking about him earlier, and I mentioned to you that the moment, the growth moment for me, I guess the growth moment for him that stood out to me was when he made that speech to the team following that state championship loss. I mean, I remember watching him thinking, that is a young man well beyond his years. Like, he already gets it.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I was at that point in life. I mean, what is it about him?
He's special, I mean, he loves big, and the thing that he said that made the most sense to me was God doesn't make mistakes, and we're still winners. Don't think for a second that you're a winner or that God doesn't love us or anything like that. You gave it everything you had and laid it all out on the line, and it just didn't work out. So that was a special moment for a dad. Just to stand back. And he'd never done that before. He'd never demanded that I get to talk to the team. But it was just like, it was just a moment thing that he's like, man, I need to tell these guys how much I love them and how valued they are, and that don't let this define you, and all those things. It was pretty special.
And lastly, how good does it feel to be back at coaching school in the Manvel gear? Do you feel like you're right back?
Hey,
I mean, how many people have given you a hard time is the real question.
Oh man, I'm flying it loud and proud, man. It's pretty awesome. And you talked about Casey a little bit. Coda is with the Saints now, and how cool is this?
Right.
And I get. I mean, we're 4.5 hours away. So I'm gonna get to go watch him a little bit. And London, our other kiddo, just finished at Texas State, and he just got hired at Manor. I wanted to hire him here, but his wife's got a great job in Austin, and so he was chasing it for a little bit. He got a couple of tryouts. He tried out with the Falcons and with the Colts, and so he was on the cusp there a little bit too. But I'm so glad he's here. I got to hug his neck, this morning, and see him and all his Manor gear, and that was pretty special too.
I'm so excited for him.
I'm excited for him. He's a special young man.
Well, the Martins are just taking things over, is what it sounds like. No, we're thrilled to see you back in Manvel. Can't wait to see you back on the sideline.
Thank you so much, Erin.
Thank you always for making time for us.
Thank you. Thanks y'all for having me. And there's no greater organization than y'all's promoting our sport and this great state of Texas. The whole. Dave Campbell's is a Bible, and everything that you guys do behind the scenes and promoting us. I mean, I've been a valued customer for a long time.
I think Jeff Reardon said it best. He said, Texas is #1, everyone else is fighting for 2.
Hey, that's right.
There we go.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.